We're recording now, so right then, we eventually got here. Major problems with everything and nothing, but anyway, we're back here now. Anthony did say earlier on that we was going to go live and do a bit of an update on the Cressida Dick scenario. So basically, but Anthony just said we're going to do a bit of random. We'll do that another time, but because obviously Anthony's short for time. So what we doing now then, Anthony? I'll hand it over to you.
Okay, well, it's obviously the social media is full of stories about Cressida Dick resigning. Well, we've been calling for that for long, not resigning, but obviously she must face justice, face a trial by a jury for whatever it is. So my personal beef with her, if you like, I don't know the lady personally. She's probably a lovely person, but she's done me some very serious harm and my child. And what it is, her offices in Barnet Police Station burgled our house with other people, claim they have a warrant, which they don't. My 3-year-old baby recovering from a heart procedure was thrown on the street 3 times. And her child protection officers, Stefan Kadek and Christopher Maitland, they refused to help us. They did help one of the tenants' babies to get back some things, but they never arrested the bailiff, Kevin McNally, the BBC big bad bailiff who works for the sheriff's office. They never arrested Kenneth Warby. When it turns out that the sheriff's office is listed as a dormant company at Companies House, so they couldn't, even though they had a fake writ, they couldn't possibly have anything legitimate whatsoever. Kenneth Warby gave a Marston's ID when all his paperwork's at the sheriff's office, and now we know it's because the sheriff's office could not possibly issue him with an ID. So what more do we need to do? Cressida Dick wrote me a nasty, well, what appears to be a bland letter, but in reality it's a very nasty letter, because she said it's all a civil matter. After I've been to jail, all our stuff stolen. I've been in financial practice for 35 years, maybe a bit less at the time. All my customer records were stolen, people's national insurance, all sorts of things. A lot of that data was used by various people to do fraudulent things. At one point, I had Santander Bank refund a lot of money to me, a lot of transactions, because the monies were being fraudulently taken from my account. I had money deducted out of my bank account on Christmas a couple of years ago, leaving 0 in my personal account. And they don't see any fraud in that. It's a civil matter, according to Cressida Dick. So when the news came out, Andy, we put an update on the petition that she was falsifying warrants. We put an update on the petition calling for her resignation. So that resignation has come, but I want my property to be restored and my profession. The FCA, yeah, there we go. FCA chief at the time, Andrew Bailey, and Tracy McDermott, they struck me off and said, I have a criminal record, which I don't. They still, yeah, they still haven't restored my position, even though they confirm in writing that I've never been the subject of any disciplinary procedure. So I don't know what my other half just done some mathematics since we've been kicked out of our house and stuff. We stayed at some friends and family for free for quite a long time, but since we started to rent a place, which is a lot inferior to our house, we've spent over 90 grand on rent. And that doesn't include the other things that go with it. So, you know, I've spent probably 80% of my time fighting this campaign and helping other victims, because it's not a problem that affect me alone. And since then, Cressida Dick's officers, the child protection officers we're talking about, from Barnet Police, they've both been jailed for, you guess it, child sexual offenses. And social media was awash with the hashtag headline is Cressida has gone. Now, I'm not happy because she's gone or not. I'm not after any revenge or anything like that. I just want justice to be done. And if she's been involved in falsification of court orders, which is established she has, and some of that is using false court orders to steal children, to put into the child trafficking industry, then she should face charges for that. And my child should get some compensation because he's grown up without what he's entitled to in life and what his parents have earned. And my clients, you know, who've been given, you know, my monies they've supposed to be paying me for my services over the years is going to somebody else's bank account. So whose bank account is all this money, you know, hundreds of thousands going into?
For sure. So what,
So
I mean, on the basis of that, just to bring it back to what they've actually done to you then, or what she's been participating of or allowed, is number one, there's been an attack on you to strip you from your assets. They've taken your houses, and to do that, to take the house, they stuck you in prison with a false court, without a casement file, and without any record of them ever putting you in prison.
Yeah, I've been to prison and I don't have a prison record. So just imagine.
And you haven't even got a prison record, yet you was put in prison so that you could get vacant possession of your property, which once they got the vacant possession and sold you, they released you from the prison. But since then, all the data that they've taken off you, that they've used to give to their other sources to destroy you and strip you of every asset you've got so that you can never fight them. And she's been participant in that, and all she's ever said is that it's civil.
So that somebody's hammering you and chucking you on the street, taking your stuff. And then you said it's a civil matter when you come back for a remedy. You know, even though the court has put in writing, I've not been prosecuted, never been prosecuted. The civil court put in writing, there is no judgment against me. So, I mean, you know, it's proven, unproven. So
just to recap for the people, like two of those police, whatever they are, that was involved in doing all this to you, both were taken on sexual charges for child indecent images and
child sexual offences, yeah.
Even making videos, even making child sexual videos. And this,
you know, I haven't even read the details, but it's like not one or two items, but like thousands and tens of, you know, it's the most gross, because they're using kids not only to sexually abuse them, but to force the kids to make lewd video. I don't even want the words to come out of my mouth, but these kids are taken with fake court orders on top of it, you know, from their families. Some of these families might be having problems, or they legitimately needed the services to intervene, but they don't need the kids to be stolen into the sex trafficking industry.
For sure, mate. Actually, that's a valid point. I don't know if you want to talk about that, what you were saying about George earlier, about his camera. because that makes perfect sense to me.
Well, we're finding with more and more people who are being gang stalked by the police and their agents and illegal bailiffs and local authority staff. You know, they have people in the local authority called an eviction team. And they're just a gang of nightclub bouncers and people like that saying they have a warrant. They don't. You know, and they're taking any asset. So with George, he has as is well known now, London George, we're calling this case. He's been to jail like me. He was a financial advisor. He had you know, his kids had to drop out of university. And we wrote a simple letter to the High Court. Give me a copy of the sealed order, which I went to jail on. And they replied back and said, we don't have any such order. So now we found out in the meantime, he's had 13 cases dropped, or criminal cases against him, because he asked, where is the prosecution? Where is the case management? And 45 different lawyers he's paid to work on the case, and none of them asked for these things. You know, so the local authority chief, since we started to do this, has disappeared. Andy Donald from the borough, which borough is it? Waltham Forest. He's also Nilu's chief executive. And one of the things they did with George, because of the harassment, George put camera, you know, CCTV. They told him to take the CCTV down. He said they have an order. That's the thing, another order that you must take. And the order is a piece of rubbish. Paper is no court case, no case man, nothing. So one of the false witnesses was George's neighbor downstairs. And it turns out he's on the sex offenders register. And it appears now the camera that George has outside his house is picking up the property across the way, where apparently these underage kids are being taken to be sexually abused. And it just gets worse and worse as you go along. So George got caught in his car. They were harassing him the other day, and he kept calling them pedophiles. 7 police cars turned up in no time with 14 officers. There was no actual incident. It didn't do anything wrong. So he did a write-up about the thing and put the video on Scambuster TV. And he sent the video just the night before to Cressida Dick and say, can you tell me what you have to say about this? Now, here's the man calling them pedophiles, and they never complained, they never objected. They said they're gonna make up a charge for speeding if you don't comply with them. Then they changed the story. They said, we're gonna make up a charge that you stole the car. Then they said, we're gonna make up a charge that you committed a public order offense. I mean, there was all live on camera. This is how the police under Cressida Dick are working, and the proof is there over and over and over and over. And I don't know who else is going to step in our shoes or whatever, but we want justice. I want my money that I earned in 30 years to be paid back to me, and my license restored on the FCA register. Apology, and pay me something for my harm. Let me go and help some of the victims. You know, that's all I'm asking for.
Well, you've done that. I mean, that's what you've been doing, and that's why they are doing exactly what they are to do. Just strip you from anything to be able to do that, because it was always about the money, wasn't it? You're helping other people, but you're having to survive as well at the same time. And the point is, the people that you have been helping is the reason why I jumped on with you, because you're pointing out the one thing, which is the court fraud, which is the warrant, the court order. There is no court, because there are no courts, and there is no record of any court. And that one thing aids everybody, which is why we kept trying to get everybody to jump on the fact and find out whether or not there's a case management file. Because if
Yeah.
there's no case management file, there's no case. If there's nothing in the case, you never had anything to answer to. It's all lies. It's all a fiction. It's all an illusion.
Well,
So-
we found the golden key. The
Yeah.
golden key, thanks to Mr. Ebert, because these people are so powerful and have so much black money, so to speak, so much power, that it's impossible to fight them. You know, they buy the judge, they buy the court, they buy the police, they buy the bailiffs, they buy everything. So the lawyers, citizens' advice, you can't get any help anywhere. So we found this, the procedure where you just ask them, how did you get this warrant? Give me a copy of the application, the request for the warrant, the case management. If there is a fee in a civil case, give me the receipt for the fee. And it's simple enough. We have a document on the out called Check My Court File. You should be able to find it and use it. And loads of people are using it. And there's an uprising now on false court procedure because it is not debatable. All the other things are debatable. You can say they were wrong, they were right, they used reasonable force, they had good cause, they had blah, 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 blah. It will never end. But if you say, where is the court procedure? There is only one answer. You're gonna give me, or you're gonna make up a fake one. That's it. And the fake one is so easy. There's a gentleman, Jason Wang and Leon, where they took their baby. We got a totally fake one there. There's so many people. The fake one is so easy.
Karen's too. Karen's the same. There's no
loads of people. Loads of people. On my criminal record, I got the computer record. There's nothing on it. No prosecution, no conviction, no trial, no nothing. Nothing. Only a little speeding thing from 2011. So there is. If I fill any form or do anything, he says, have you got a criminal record? I say, no. As a matter of fact, I've got a thing here. By the way, Andy, this morning when I saw it, the Twitter packed with the other funeral, so I didn't have any time, but I just put out a little tweet about it and a Facebook thing. I got immediately from Twitter and Facebook simultaneously. You're restricted for 10 hours or something. I don't know what restrict. Am I banned? Am I not banned? What offense did I commit? I just said Cressida Dick and her officers abused my 3-year-old child multiple times, used fake warrants and things to rob us, something like that. Simple. True. And I put a link back to the petition.
Stuff that you can back up 100% with the forensic documents. And
well, I got all these documents from them, all the proof.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, it's all. So why is Facebook interfering in something like this? And why is Twitter restricting me from posting? They didn't say I did something wrong or whatever. They just said you're restricted. So I just had something here because there is a free speech platform building in the metaverse, in the blockchain, which will make the users equity holders. And any dispute you have, they have adjudicators, independent, outside the company. Anybody can apply and volunteer to be an adjudicator, and you have to operate on a Magna Carta principle. It's called UHive. And UHive, I got a letter from UHive just by coincidence, because I love them. I've been kind of testing them out a little bit on a free speech basis. And I had a letter here from them this morning, from yesterday, which I don't think you can, it's a bit fine printed, but I'll just read the first line. It says,
I'll do you what, so I can make it so you're just you on there. So it's just the speaker. So if you speak, it'll be bigger now. Go on then, if you want to just show it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to read it quickly. It says here, we're super excited that you applied to join UHive's Create to Earn program. We're happy to tell you that because you are awesome, your awesome social media audience you have qualified to become a level 2 creator, which means you'll be paid, blah, blah, content on social media. So what it is, because of my social media following, so you guys who are listening and supporting us, and you know, it's helped. So we are gonna be building that on UHive, our campaign a bit better, and we'll even be getting some financial reward back, which is amazing. So these guys, I mean, they're gone. A lot of things are happening for us in the positive side. And now Cressida going, we have the financial ombudsman head just gone. We have the head of the Minister of Fraud just gone. And a lot of it, we had the Attorney General Jeffrey Cox just gone because he was caught making up false court orders as well. The judge on my case, Nicholas Parfit, he's gone. Well, I don't know if he's gone. I don't know, but he was caught making up.
Somewhere else. Just to why before you just stop there,
yeah.
There's somebody asked a question here. Would there be a case file for a warrant of control?
For a warrant of control, for any court case, there must be an application. Yeah.
I've answered saying there would have to be an application for a case to create
a fee,
or a case management file should exist if that is a fact.
Yes, so you use the same document, check my court file, and send it to them, and you ask the claimant, give me a copy of what you filed in court and the receipt you paid for the fee. So you know they are taking court fees off people that they never paid. So can you imagine the size of the VAT and tax evasion scandal that is we're sitting on here? Court fees being claimed. I've had in the last maybe week and a half about 4 bailiffs from Cedar Group, Newlyn, God knows who else, Marston's, saying they visited the house when they didn't. So guess what? They're charging £335 for the alleged visit, which never took place. Can you imagine? And then that visit include court fees, which were never paid. So if you're collecting this, you didn't pay it. I mean, just imagine the scale of the tax evasion. Apart from the constitutional issue that somebody is using court authority on a scale in the millions, when it's never been anywhere near a court. Yeah. And they're using the address and the name of the court. You know, I had one that allegedly came from the High Court in Northampton. It's the same address as the county court. When I put in a thing by registered post, they replied and said, oh, we're not open to the public. So how the hell did you have a trial there? There is no court there. Yeah. They're pumping out fake documents with fake. This one actually had a seal, but it didn't have a case number. So you seal a document with. So listen, this is the most fundamental issue in society, and it's the easiest one to solve because either you have it or you don't have it. And you know, the public has to get on it, because when you ask them and they don't have it, they don't want to give you a straight answer, because a criminal ain't gonna say, I am a criminal, I done the crime. It has to be done by law enforcers. And if the law enforcer is the criminal, it only leaves the public. And the public has power, because look what is happening now. Cressida Dick, the head of the fraud ministry, Jeffrey Cox, our work is moving because people are now become aware that the court, you know, some people, it's not in their reality. You know it, Andy. They can't even conceptualize that court things could be actually made up rubbish.
For sure. And just, I mean, because the police, like you say, I mean, the pyramid of terror, yeah? The pyramid of terror, the police are the protection, they're the enforcement. Let's just think about, you know, anybody that's going to expose any crime. Let's think about Cressida Dick again, because what was the Brazilian, Menendez or something? Do you remember him on the 7/7 London bombings?
Oh, yeah.
The the CCT camera footage man who noticed the fact that it was all set up and rigged.
Yeah.
And they grabbed him and put 5 bullets in his head, and she covered up. That was Cressida Dick again. Yeah. So this is the
Jimmy
power that
Savile.
they've got. They're claiming, over the and like I say, what they're doing to people like yourself and other people, where they're allowing to be completely stripped of every asset by using an enforcement by their enforcement. So
Violence. Hardcore violence. You know, Andy, after all this, they said they had a warrant because I didn't pay the court fine. I've killed this issue many times. It keeps coming. Then they arrested me in East London somewhere on the river, river crossing, saying they're doing a terrorism check, took me into the station, put my car in a car park where they impound the cars every couple of days. And I was poisoned in the station. When I came out the next day, because how I got out was simple, because they were planning to actually lock me up in jail. I looked at the officer and I said, he told me he doesn't have a warrant. And the duty solicitor said, she told me there is no warrant. And everybody went silent. There were 4 magistrates. Everybody went silent. And then they said, you can go. They never asked me for money or nothing. When I got home, Andy, I managed to just about get the car before they towed it. It was so malicious. When I got home, I took sick and about 9 days straight in bed. They did tests. They didn't find whatever it was. And then it took me a long time after that to recover. This is before COVID, yeah? So, this, where will they stop? I mean, the amount of times, but where will they stop? And now we got all the proof. You see, what has changed in the last year, Andy, is this. People are falling on the court order. And the child abuse is one thing, but when you can prove that they took these children on a false court order, it takes it on another level, because they have no ground to stand on now. If you're prepared to take a child and lie that you have a court order to take that child, you have already committed child abuse. If you're putting my baby on the street when he's recovering from a heart procedure, even if you had a warrant and all that, you're already not a human being, So what we're seeing is a few people now, from Jeffrey Cox, Sir Jeffrey Cox, let's give him its title for now. Cressida Dick, because a lot of them have resigned. Susan Acklam.
Cressida Dick. Dame. Yeah.
Dame, yeah. The damn Dame, Cressida Dick. Yeah. Even Susan Ackland Hood, our MP, Teresa Villiers, who's she helps us, but very reluctant, like she doesn't want to do it. She wrote to Susan Ackland Hood, the head of the Ministry of Justice, and said, give us the court order on Mr. Badaloo and Jacqueline Campbell and what. And she wrote back and says, basically, we don't have anything. And on Jackie, she said, we can't help Jackie because she's not even listed anywhere. Her name doesn't even come up anywhere at all. So she was part owner of the property. She had her belongings stolen. She's an NHS nurse, the way you treat NHS staff. And the MP made no effort to restore anything, But the thing is, Susan Ackland Hood has quietly left the position. Now, so we're seeing Jeffrey Cox, we're seeing a few of them. When you bring up this court order issue, the court is not one case. You might prove one case, but it's not one, it's thousands. And it's this dirty little secret of this elite who are drinking the people's blood It is the dirty little secret. It is one thing they cannot overcome. You can't prove to me that your court proceedings are authentic, valid, and issued by the court. And if you're prepared to do this, you will fuck children.
Exactly. Well, I think they had to do that to get in that position in the first place. That's why they do what they do. From all grounds and what I've noticed, that's my opinion of what I've seen. They've got to be dirty to be in that position in the first place because they've got something over them, and that's why they will not do anything to help.
So listen, we got some cases. We got Nilu's case. You got Jason Wang's case. You've got what's that lady called? Andy.
Karen with the family.
Karen.
Yeah, they're taking her trade as well. Yeah.
We got so many people where it's proven. We got John Pattison. I heard, God bless her soul, that Sabine McNeil is out. Have you heard that one?
Yeah, she's in Germany. Yeah, she's back home.
So she's connected to these cases and the Barnet police, the same police as mine, and child sexual abuse.
Yeah.
So it's one big happy family.
DC Steve Martin, same one that was on you, same one that did John Pattison, same one that did Nilu, same, yeah, exactly.
Now, Sabine McNeil is the co-author of the book with Mr. Eber. She helped him to write it. So that book is called The Forensics of Legal Fraud. There's a free PDF version on the internet, and there's a £7 one you can buy in the proper covers. But that's the only book I know that shows the pictures of the fake court documents. You know, it's wonderful. And imagine author of a book like that. She spoke in Parliament. Is so active. She doesn't have children of her own. I think she's a PhD. And you can lock somebody in there in jail for 9 years and say they're in contempt of court when the court you're in, there is no procedure issued by the court. It
isn't a court, yeah. And she's 70, what is she, 74? Yeah.
Crazy. And she was in the same one with Nilu, and we fought Nilu's case on this basis and did it on the petition and email every MP in the country and many journalists, hundreds of journalists. And Nilu got a suspended sentence.
Yeah,
a suspended sentence. And she didn't go to jail for the same exact offense, the same incident, the same date, the same time, same everything. So it shows that the pressure and the power of social media, it works. But the thing is, Andy, we're on a new platform now. You understand? We're getting recognition like this. People, they just look us up and start. I mean, they're basically saying, you know, come on over here and help us to build this censorship-free. It's just, you know, I told you earlier, we got a message.
What's that one called again, Anthony?
UHive.
UHive.
Yeah, it's sensational.
Have to look into it, like.
Yeah. But there's no sense. If there is any censorship dispute, things are resolved by Magna Carta principle, by independent adjudicators who are member of the public, who can go and. So I believe it will be a fairer system. And
how do you spell it?
U and HIVE, like beehive, but UHive.
With a U or Y?
UHIVE.
UHIV. Yeah.
HIVE.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah.
You know, so it's funny enough, I'm looking for somewhere to put my blogs. And the thing I found, which I believe is the best one, is called Hive. Not UHive, but Hive. So we got a lot of bees buzzing around. But we are on a different platform now. We are on a different scale. And we got to try and keep it there and move it up. We need supporters. We've got quite a few really nice people volunteer to help. I haven't had the time to try and delegate. I'm not a good delegator. But the thing is, we got some crazy good people. And we had, like I was telling you, Andy, earlier, we had a message through from change.org where the platform is on. Bearing in mind, change.org banned us once, and we had to fight to get it back.
And I mean, I've got to say, I mean, because if I'm wrong, I'll eat my hat. But I know the amount of numbers and the amount of people I shared with, the amount of people that said that they'd sign, you know, they'd put their name on there, you know, to promote it, you know. And the numbers never matched anything to what I was.
No, the numbers a lot of problem, but it's shadow ban is what we face, and we're not just relying on there. We're doing that's just one element. We're doing Twitter. We're doing on Odyssey. Your channel was completely wiped, Andy, and you managed, just because you set it up on Odyssey like 3 days before or something, you managed to have everything backed up.
One of my channels. I've lost
okay.
many others, like, you know.
So they've banned my channel a few times and put it back. So I have about 2 or 3 different YouTube channels on the same issue, which is crazy. So it's scrambled, but you know what? We're still breaking through. We're still getting offers on recognition like this. I got a wonderful little recognition from Reddit, you know, because I was helping in the Wall Street Bets things, and Wall Street Bets won. And you know, the possibilities are there. In the olden days, we would have just been shut up and locked up and forgotten. That's it. But now I'm telling you, thank God, you know, thanks for all those who support. You have to share it by hand and word of mouth, because it's what it is. A lot of people have been wiped out completely. People like Tom Crawford and lots of great people have started petitions and they've been shut down. So this is the one that survived, you know. The FCA with the Queen's lawyers, they served me writs on Christmas Day a couple of years ago, and by New Year's Day they withdrew. This is for child sexual offense things. That time I didn't even know that the officers were jailed for it, 2 of them, and how many more, God knows, not being caught in the Barnet police. I didn't know at the time the bailiff who came and kicked us out the flats from the sheriff's office, that the sheriff's office is not a trading company, it's listed as dormant. These are the people on the BBC channel. The sheriffs are coming. They're all illegal. So the BBC has to fall on this alone, apart from all the other scams. So it seems that child sexual offense is connecting all the time. Okay. With the fake court order, there is a link there. Because in Tariq's case, Tariq Zahid, he had this restaurant called Organicus, and Marston's bailiff come and threw him out, said they have a warrant. Now his landlord is Mr. Lamont.
Yeah, Andrew Lamont.
Andrew Lamont. And we found Andrew Lamont is on the child sex offenders register. So all the time we're seeing the connections with Nilu's case, with George's case, with you know, if you can take my car with a fake warrant, you can take my house with a fake warrant, you're going to take the child with a fake warrant, because it's all there for you.
The abuse of children is always the connection, and that seems to be the bond that binds them all together to do what they do, for sure.
So
that and money.
The public has to get on it, and, you know, we've done some crazy things that people said, Anthony, I can't believe this thing is not taken down. You know, Andy, you and I, we did the thing on the lockdown, the A to Z of the COVID-19 84 scam. It's still there. Could you believe it survived the whole lockdown? Nobody came to us and say, you guys are liars, you know? So, look, we're pushing, we got so much scope and potential. We got a limitation of time and money and skill, and we're using whatever skill we have. And right now I'm sitting on I'm in the studio of a band called the Grime Reapers, and I'm so blessed to be in here. But I'm on somebody else's laptop. We're just fiddling around with the technology. We got all this shadow ban, but we're still here, you know? So please get on board, support us, all the people, all the victims. Margaret, we got so many victims every day, email her. We don't even know who these people are. They're trying to find an answer. We're going to be, Andy, I'm struggling. I'm going to try to do back. I used to be on this Freedom Talk radio once a week doing question and answer and stuff like that. I think it was a great thing. We're going to try and restore it.
We have questions in here. I mean, I don't know if you want to answer what you've got to go. Do you want to be able to?
Maybe let's have a quick one, yeah.
This one here from one from Gavin Houston. It's like Lowell have bought a debt and sent my friend a county court claim. I've been told under the bills of exchange that once it's sold, it's been paid.
You can stop now. You can stop now, Andy.
Pardon, yeah.
You can stop. Lowell, yeah, I'm coming. Lowell cannot buy your debt. Yeah. Lowell bought your data. Yeah. So what Lowell is doing is data fraud. We're gonna put in the chat on this somewhere, Andy, a DSAR request to send to Lowell. Yeah. And it will just melt away. Yeah.
Where they got the source of information from under the data protection. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a long one with about 20 questions on the DSAR, and they will just fade away. They won't even answer the DSAR.
Exactly.
Can we done? Can we end?
Yeah, we'll end it at that because I can see you've
Marvelous.
got someone
All
trying
right.
to call you out. All right.
Cheers.
God bless you, Anthony.
Bye.
Keep smiling, mate. Ciao, ciao for now. Right, I'll just finish this one off, like, I don't want to end it long because of, in fact, I'll stop the video now. 1 sec, I'll stop the recording.